Eric Young is the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion in a great back and forth match, which saw Eric Young win with a cheap shot using his hockey mask and then going for the pile driver on Eddie Edwards, who nearly midway through the match injured his knee, injured one of his legs actually, and Eric Young picked up the bones, used his hockey mask, hit him with the pile driver, and we have a new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Wow. It is just absolutely insane to witness this, guys. I just saw this about an hour ago. Just to think that Eric Young, who recently made his return at Slammiversary and that fatal five-way match for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, in which he was eliminated by Rich Swann, and then he re-injured Rich Swann after that, tackling the same leg that he was on braces with he was on his ankles with, and then on top of that, he injured Rick Swann again during Rich Swann's kayfabe retirement, as he was announcing that he had to retire due to the attack that Eric Young did to him at Slammiversary. Then Eric Young went to attack him again, all to get his hands on Eddie Edwards. After Eddie Edwards won the championship at Slammiversary, he has been at Eddie Edwards ever since. Last week, they went to a brawl. Week after week since Eddie Edwards won the title, we've seen him have open challenge matches with the likes of Sami Callihan. Last week with the likes of RVD at Impact Emerges Night 2. We saw him face Trey in one of his first title defenses. But it all came down to Eric Young, who said he was gonna challenge him during his time. And now his time has arrived. And now his time has come. And Eric Young has reclaimed the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, I believe, for the second time in his career. I could be wrong, but I believe it's the second time. And a convincing, crazy fashion. And then after he won the title, he went to go attack Eddie Edwards once again, going after the same leg or knee that Eddie Edwards injured during the match. So maybe he's trying to also sideline Eddie Edwards. It's just absolutely insane. Eric Young has now stood his ground, and the Maniac is the new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. This is just insane to think that Eric Young had just come back to Impact just over almost 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and he's already holding the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, a title in which Eddie Edwards only held for about a month and a half. Like I said before, he did defend the title almost every week, each and every week. He defended the title since he won the belt. He was a fighting champion, but in the end, he was not able to secure the victory over Eric Young. And I thought for sure that this match was going to take place at Bound for Glory. I thought for sure they were going to hold off for this match for Bound for Glory. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that they had this match happen now, because they've been building towards this match ever since Slammiversary. Ever since Slammiversary, after Eddie Edwards won the title, they've been building towards this match ever since, because Eric Young, you know, within the next night or so, the next week, that's when Rich Swann had announced his retirement. Then he attacked Rich Swann during that retirement speech. And then on top of that, the very next week, he had a match with Willie Mack, and he defeated Willie Mack within that match. And after Willie Mack tried to fight for his tag partner Rich Swann after what he did to Rich Swann, and he's just been at it ever since, to get his hands. And they went into a brawl last week at Impact Emerges Night 2, in which Eric Young nearly got the best of Eddie Edwards in that brawl. And then it all came down to this, because he even said it last week that next week, which he was talking about this week, that he was going to face Eddie Edwards for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. And that's exactly what happened. He challenged him. He won the belt. He used his he used his evil tactics to do it. But at the end of the day, we have a new Impact World Heavyweight Champion. It's going to be interesting to see, especially with what he did to Eddie Edwards after the match. You know, where they're gonna go from here because obviously Eddie Edwards, he's owed a rematch clause technically, but with what he did to Eddie Edwards, I don't see him immediately getting a rematch right now. So maybe they will still push this feud forward. Maybe they will still have this match happen Bound for Glory. It's interesting to see, how they're gonna go about with this. You have Rich Swann, who they've had him out ever since, Slammiversary and after that, and now you have Eddie Edwards, who he attacked massively even after he won the championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they go from here. You know, Eric Young has just been on fire since he's made his return. It's been nice to see him back as a TNA original, and he has just been on fire. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here, who he's actually going to go and face. I don't see this feud with Eddie Edwards being over just yet. But it's going to be interesting to see how long they have him hold on to the belt, how long he's going to be holding on to the championship, because I definitely can see that this era of the Maniac, as they call him, has restarted, it's re-began, and it's just, again, it's quite interesting because Eric Young, with just a few weeks' time, took the belt off Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards, like I said, had a good amount of title defenses, but in the end, he even beat Brian Myers. He also retained the belt against Brian Myers, but in the end, it all came down to Eric Young getting his hands on Eddie Edwards and actually taking the belt from him. And this is kind of why, those open challenges, they work for a while. They're good for a while, but there's always that one guy that's going to eventually take the belt. That's kind of what makes the open challenges start to run their course, because the person's going to win the match half the time. You know what's going to happen. But in this case here, it just wouldn't have made sense for Eddie Edwards to retain. Even though he had a short title reign, it doesn't really hurt him in defeat. Eddie Edwards can get back on his feet. He can definitely get himself back together. But you just kind of knew that Eric Young was going to eventually get his hands back on that championship. You just kind of knew it. With all of his momentum at this point, I just didn't really see it going any other way. I did think, though, that they were going to hold off to this until Bound for Glory, but at the same time, maybe this is perfect timing. Maybe this is the perfect timing for them to do this. And maybe they could have their rematch at Bound for Glory, considering the fact of what he did to Eddie Edwards afterwards, which wouldn't allow Eddie Edwards to even be able to compete for a good amount of time, I would like to guess, in storyline perspective anyway. So, again, the era of Eric Young has begun. And, yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. So, Real Master Flex. All right.